Okay guys, today we're going to do the work page 154, numbers 39 through 44. I really want to focus on number 39 because we've started a unit with decimals, and number 39 specifically talks about rounding to a specific place. So on number 39 it asks you to round to the nearest tenth. The nearest tenth. When I'm looking at that, which number, somebody raise your hand and tell me which number is in the 10th place? Talon.
5 to the right of it.
The 5 to the right of the decimal. Thank you. So I'm looking at this place value, and I'm going to round to this place value. So what does that mean for anything to the right of this? Topanga. Okay, she needs help. Hang on.
Stop.
This is a decimal place value, but when I go to round this, what's going to happen, Chase?
You're going to get rid of the hundredth place.
I'm going to get rid of, for another way, any other way to call it, the decimal or the hundredth place. Good. Okay. So, what are some rules that you guys remember being taught with rounding? Casey. If it's 5 or more, let it soar. Dylan? Okay, what about, there's a second part to this one. Gabby? If it's 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, and what this is talking about right here is the number to the right of the place value that you're rounding to. So what is this 2 going to make the 5 do? Is the 2 going to make the 5 soar or rest? Rest, correct. So what is my new number going to be rounded to the 10th place? Josh?
45.50.
And how can I say that 45 and 50 hundredths? Now, there's one more way that I could have written this. Jocelyn?
45.5.
How would I say that?
45 and 5 tenths.
45 and 5 tenths. Good work. Good work. Any questions about this specifically? Good. Okay. I need you to open to your notes section of your notebook if you aren't already. And our objective for today is I can add and subtract decimals. You guys have seen this material before. You saw this in 5th grade, and I know that you even started to see it in 4th grade. All right, so we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting of decimals. Yes?
What do you want us to title it?
We're going to get there. Okay, so this is just our objective. And for today, let's title Add, Subtract, Decimals. And today's date is October 22nd, 2015. When we are adding and subtracting decimals, there is one rule that is super important. And it has to do with the decimal itself. Topanga, what do you think that special rule is? Always line up the decimals. Perfect. Always line up the decimals. So, a lot of times when you are given decimal problems, like out of a book or on a worksheet, they're put in horizontal format, and then you've got to figure out how to line it up and write it properly in horizontal format. So, if I gave you this problem, when I go to write it on my paper, or you go to write it on your paper, you're going to write it horizontally, and you're going to make sure that these decimals match up. Now this one is nice and pretty because they have the same amount of numbers on to the left and right of the decimal. Yes, please. So I have them lined up perfectly, and I can even go ahead and bring my decimal straight down, because that decimal isn't going anywhere when we add and subtract with decimals. They stay lined up. So let's go through this. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 3, 8. And 4 plus 6, 10. Good.
That's all?
Yep. That's all. When you're adding decimals and it's nice and pretty like this, that's all you're doing is lining it up. Same with subtraction. Okay? So then let's look at this one. What if I have 38 and 5/10 plus 7 and 32 hundredths? I'm going to start off by writing it horizontally, right? So I'm going to write my first number. And we're going to do a lot more practice with these problems too. I'm going to put my decimal down, because I know that decimal has to be lined up. Theo, what do you think? Okay, so let me write this part down. I'm going to match this up, okay? I could put a 0 there if I needed that visually, but we generally don't put zeros before the whole number. There's another place, though, Erin, where do I want to probably put?
After the 5.
After a 5 is where I would probably like to put a 0 to help me really see how to do this problem. With addition, it's a little bit easier to kind of ignore decimal or zeros being there or not being there. But when you have a subtraction problem, like if we change this to a subtraction problem, it would be really hard to think about solving this problem without this 0 being here. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and bring that decimal down. And then I'm going to go through and add my 2 decimal numbers. So 0 plus 2? 2. 5 plus 3? 8. 8 plus 7? 15. And 1 plus 3? 4. Good work, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some problems to do on our own.
Is it still in this?
Yes. The first one, the 3 across the top are addition, and the 3 on the bottom row are subtraction. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, guys, so give me just 1 second. I apologize. Oh, not that big.
Too big.
There we go. Okay, so let's work on this first one. I want you to write these down in your notes so you have these as examples. Yep. Right now we're working on A. And if you finish A, I want you to jump down and do D second. I want to make sure we do one example from each row before I give you your independent assignment for today. So when I am writing these problems down, what's the first thing I'm going to do? How am I going to write them? I'm going to write them vertically. So I'm going to start there, And what's my one special rule?
Bring that to the line up to the.
Line up the decimals.
Got that one, you know.
Do we need to
Line up.
line up the decimals?
Line up the decimals.
All right, there's more enthusiastic for you.
No.
No, that's, okay. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this one. 7 plus 4. Come on, guys. 11. 1 plus 4 plus 1. Perfect. 5 plus 2. 7. What am I going to do with this decimal? Bring it on down. All right. So, Lindy asked, are we going to get to where we're multiplying the decimals, or is that another unit? And my answer to you is this unit next week. Get ready, because it's coming.
No, you better keep it hard.
I will. I promise. I promise. We'll do lots of practice, okay? All right, so we brought down the decimals, and we're ready to go. Now let's go ahead and look at this one down here. So I'm going to line this up. Can somebody say this number, this top one for me? Gabby?
9 and 543,000.
I like that. 9 and 543,000. Good job. Okay, and what about this one? Kaden, can you say the second number for me?
3 and 6,700.
3 and 6,700. Good job. Okay, I want to do something to this one to help me out. What do I want to do?
Add the 0.
I'm going to add that 0 where?
To the thousands place.
Where?
On the spot.
You only one left, right? Okay, we're going to put that 0 right there in the thousandths place of the second number, so that way they're all lined up and it's pretty and works for me. Okay, 3 minus 0.
So 3, that's the borrow.
Not zero.
Oh, no.
Can I take 7 from 4?
No.
No, now I have to go next door. What about 14 minus 7?
7.
Beautiful. Can I take 6 from 4?
No.
No way. What do I have to do?
Borrow.
Gotta go next door. Make that an 8, make the score a 14. What's 14 minus 6? 8. Beautiful. And 8 minus 3? 5. And with that decimal, I'm gonna bring it on down. Okay, let's see. Aiden, say this number for me. Say our answer.
5.9.
When I have a decimal, what do I say? Do I say point or do I say another word?
5 and
Beautiful. 1,000. Good. 5 and 873,000. Good job. Okay. So that we have enough time to work independently today, I do want to go ahead and give you your assignment that we are going to be working on. If you have time, then I want you to go back and look at them. We might start off our day tomorrow looking at these. Yeah. Okay. So, our independent assignment is on page 169, and you're going to be working on numbers 13 through 37, completing the odds. 13 through 37, completing the odds. And yes, it is homework if you don't finish.